Welcome to the LeggLife Podcast. My name is Adam.
My name is Sherri.
Sherri Beth, what episode is this?
144.
Fun fact about the number 144. Did you know 144 is a dozen dozens?
I did know that.
You did know that? Dang
It's
it.
the only math thing that stuck.
That 12
times 12.
That's hilarious. So we have recorded a dozen podcasts. That's very confusing. How about we just say 144?
Let's just go with 144.
I feel like it's easier.
Yep.
You guys may have noticed something when you clicked on this podcast that we're trying something a little bit different.
And by we mean Adam.
And by we, yeah. Essentially, when I say we, it's 99% of the time. What I mean is
when it
me.
has to do with the channel.
Podcast, vlog, any of that kind of stuff. It's basically me. Sherri just is the talent who shows up. That's essentially.
You're welcome.
Sherri's like, on set. I'm like, all right.
With my whiskey.
Talent's on set. That is true. Last week, we were drinking tea. Mm-hmm. Today, I am drinking water and Sherri's drinking whiskey. So you know who
Jameson.
You know who the responsible one on this podcast is.
It's me.
So we have on all of our podcasts always basically had like a title, a theme, a singular topic we've talked about. Mm-hmm. And we're still going to do that a whole bunch. However, what we've realized is there are a lot of things that we come across throughout any given week or month that are like little bite-sized pieces of content that we could talk about, but they don't necessarily make an entire podcast.
Yeah.
And so some podcasts, the title of the podcast is simply going to be the episode number or the date we record, that kind of stuff. Not necessarily a specific topic.
Because we're not really talking about a specific topic.
We're not. There is a theme across the three things we are going to talk about today.
Yep.
But it's not really one topic.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'm actually very excited about this.
We talked about it a little bit last night.
I think so.
And we were kind of giggling a little bit, so I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be fun too. So what I have are 3 news stories that I came across this week. Now, just hit pause. When I say news stories, I'm not talking about anything divisive. Well, some of this could be divisive, actually. I'm not talking about like typical like.
It's not political or religion crap or whatever.
It's not news stories that make your blood pressure rise. These are news stories that make you be like, wait, what the hell did he just say? Like, what? Oh, wait, what?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, first, we're just going to jump right into it, Sherri. You know what we're talking about first?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it on the screen.
Lickable wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I came across this news story that said, it just makes me laugh, that KFC this year is launching chicken-flavored lickable Christmas wrapping paper. Now, I went on the website. It's already sold out. So I wish you guys could see Sherri's face right now. She is just like gross. And
this is a hard pass for me.
So, okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
I could not say no faster to this.
You would pass on, well, here's the thing. First of all, I just want to point out, all wrapping paper technically is flavored.
Okay.
Like old trees.
Paper flavored.
Yeah, paper flavored wrapping paper. What they have done is they have made chicken flavored lickable Christmas wrapping paper. You are a hard no on this one.
I'm a hard no. Here's the thing.
Let me hear it.
Why?
Okay, I like to think that in the KFC planning meeting where their whole marketing team was meeting, there was one person who was like, I have a question. Why? And they were just like, get her out of here.
No, here's my thought process with this. Here's the only way that this was approved. Nepotism. I'm thinking this is like the owner's nephew or somebody just stupid who can't actually get a job and was just given this job, and they're like, you know what we should do? And they can't actually fire this guy.
I completely disagree. Do you want to know why I disagree? We've recorded 144 episodes of our podcast. Have we ever once talked about KFC?
No.
And so to me, this is one of those...
I mean, maybe because we like their chicken.
Maybe.
I don't want to eat their paper.
I don't think anybody does. This is one of those gimmicky marketing things that simply exist. They probably made 1,000. They didn't make 100,000 or 1,000,000. It exists simply to get them in the news with like something weird and quirky. Much like the second story we'll talk about in a few minutes. To me, this is just like 100% marketing.
But lickable, we couldn't just go with scented.
Okay. I'm so glad you said that because this is where I want to take this discussion.
Lickable paper. Why?
Okay, first of all, let's stick with lickable paper real quick. Is there a flavored wrapping paper you would be okay with. We've established it's not chicken.
No, because I don't think you should eat paper.
Okay, it's lickable. It's not digestible. We're not chomping on it.
Yeah, tell that to any child.
Listen.
Who's like, you know what you can do is lick this paper. The whole thing is going in their disgusting mouths.
You're telling me
everything.
You're telling me that if below your tree. Also, this is instantly more divisive than I expected this podcast to be. I blame your whiskey.
We're like, it's not going to be divisive.
I blame your whiskey. You're telling me.
No, because I had this stance last night.
You're telling me that if below your tree was a present and it was peppermint flavored, you're telling me you're not going to take a singular lick?
No.
I for sure am.
I know you are.
Or
Mr. wants to lick the Eiffel Tower.
That is true. When we were in Paris, I did ask Sherri if I could lick the Eiffel Tower.
Multiple times.
I was curious what it would taste like. I also would lick the Statue of Liberty. I want to know what freedom tastes like. I'm not above this. I'm not.
You want to know what freedom tastes like?
No flavor that you would even take a lick of.
It's paper.
Okay.
No. I don't want to have to lick paper.
You don't have to.
Because you know what paper does when it's wet?
What?
It disintegrates.
What a great way to get to your present.
Blech.
Okay. Now let's...
Scented. I would go for scented. I don't know that I would go for chicken scented.
Okay.
Under my tree.
Peppermint scented for Christmas.
Peppermint, fir trees. Cinnamon, chocolate. Sure. Chicken?
I will say, the scented paper is something that I'm surprised actually is not more of a thing. Because do you remember how excited we got when we got the scratch and sniff stickers at school?
I still am. Everybody, hopefully, has seen our Decorate for Christmas video the 18 times that we've done it.
True.
I smell my little strawberry shortcake thing every year because it smells so good.
It's true. Every single year you do that.
Because it smells good. But
Okay.
I'm not going to lick it.
Okay. Well, has that thought crossed my mind every year that we've put up your ornament? 100%.
You want to lick it?
For sure.
Please don't lick my ornament.
Well, sorry. This sounds very interesting. I think that scented wrapping paper should be more of a thing.
I 100% agree with the scented. I am not on board with the lickable.
I'm not on board with it. I will say.
I know, but I don't think that we can really take your word for things.
What are you talking about?
Mr. wants to lick everything in sight.
Absolutely. Very true. So I'm very curious to know, all of you who are listening, I'm going to ask this question as we go through the podcast because there's multiple answers I need. Mm-hmm. Right now, take a minute and I want you to think of two things. Number one, is there a flavor, any flavor in the world, that if there was a flavored wrapping paper, you would lick it? Number two, if you could have any scented wrapping paper, what would it be? Very curious to know. So keep those ideas, keep those answers in your head. Sherri and I are on the opposite side of this argument.
Yeah.
And it's going to move us into news story number 2, which is in some ways very similar. We are approaching the relaunch of something. We'll get into this a little bit later. I saw online that McDonald's is selling, and actually has now sold out. I checked earlier today. They sold out almost instantly by going live. Mm-hmm. They're selling so stupid. They're selling half-gallon jugs of McRib sauce. For those of you who, Sherri's just laughing. For those of you who don't know what the McRib is, it is a classic McDonald's sandwich, like a barbecue rib sandwich. Mm-hmm. And so basically McRib sauce is like their barbecue sauce.
Right. But it's not like their barbecue sauce that you get like in the little cup. It's different.
It's different. It's different than their barbecue sauce that you can like dip fries in. It is their McRib sauce. To me, this is very similar to what KFC did in that
just a gimmick.
It's just simply a gimmick because again, like it gets people talking. It gets it in the news, especially with McDonald's about to re-release the McRib sandwich.
For the last time ever.
Which, this is an issue Sherri and I have. I feel like...
It's every 6 months for the last time ever.
I feel like they have said 100 times now, the McRib is going away forever. Get your last one ever. And then 6 months later, they're like, JK, we got some McRibs.
For the last time ever.
For the last time ever.
We're for real this time. Just kidding.
Now, you can buy a half gallon of McRib sauce. Sherri, you are actually a McRib fan.
Former.
Okay, talk about this.
Okay, here's the thing.
You've been scorned by the McRib.
I've been scorned.
You've scorned me one and too many times,
scorned.
McRib.
Listen, here's the thing with the McRib. It used to be like my favorite thing on the menu.
That is such a bold comment.
I know. And then they started this back and forth, like it's going away forever. Just kidding. And they don't really know, and they're just lying to the public with everything else, like they always do. But my issue with the McRib, it used to be really good.
Okay. And
I feel like the last few times that they've relaunched, the last time ever, I've gone and gotten one, and it's dry, and it's not good. Maybe I was laughing with Adam earlier. Maybe this is why they're selling these half-gallon jugs, because they refuse to actually put the sauce on the sandwich anymore. So they want people to like put their own on. I don't know.
Or they've got so much left over.
Or they have so much left over because they put like a tiny dash on the entire sandwich. It's just been dry and it hasn't been good. And honestly, I would rather get the cheap ones from the gas station.
Okay, so I don't know that every gas station has these. So
the Holiday gas stations do.
Holidays,
which is now Circle K.
Yep, Circle K. They sell these little like Racco rib sandwiches that are basically like
Adam just calls it a McRiblet.
A McRiblet. It's basically a gas station McRib, which I want you to take a second and think about how disgusting that comment is. A gas station
it's delicious.
McRib.
It's
God.
delightful.
You know what my favorite thing is that you have. Okay, first of all, you are very high maintenance. Can we agree with this?
Absolutely.
You're very high maintenance. You have very expensive taste. Almost without question, if we go to the store and you pick something out, somehow you end up choosing the most expensive version of whatever you want.
Yeah, but Chan's being style, you enjoy maintaining me.
But absolutely, that's not the point here. The point is that every now and then you drop something that is just so incredibly trashy, like a McRib.
Or like a fried bologna.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
High maintenance, but also likes McRibs and fried bolognas.
Sure.
Very strange.
I almost made a fried bologna for lunch today.
I bet you did. And so you prefer the gas station rib sandwich.
I prefer the gas station rib sandwich, and I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it's probably just as bad, but I just feel like the McRib at McDonald's has just been lacking the last few times that they've rolled it back out for the last time ever.
Will you, because it's coming out soon, I don't remember when, but I think it's in December. December 3rd?
Well, I looked it up earlier.
Okay. Will you try a McRib when it comes back, or is the McRib dead to you?
I don't know. I keep feeling like I need to try it because maybe it'll be back to its former glory.
Its former glory. That's so funny. The former glory of the McRib. My gosh. Okay, as a McRib fan, let's get back to the original story.
The sauce?
Half-gallon jug.
No.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
What the hell am I going to do with a half-gallon jug of barbecue sauce?
I mean, marinate chicken in it.
Sure.
You know, use it as like normal barbecue sauce in meals at the house.
I guess so.
But you wouldn't.
It's not. Here's the thing with the McRib barbecue sauce. It's good on the McRib. I don't know that it'd be good with like everything else.
What if it is the best barbecue sauce in the world and none of us know that because we just like associate it with the crappy McRib? It's like an award-winning barbecue sauce. And it's just like, that's why McDonald's is doing it. They're like, no, it's really good. We're like, whatever, McRib. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I think we're giving McDonald's too much credit.
I'm telling you, KFC and McDonald's marketing teams knocking it out of the park so far this year with your lickable wrapping paper. Okay, here you go, Sherri. Lickable McRib flavored wrapping paper.
Still no.
Okay. Well,
I'm not going to lick paper.
All right. Well, you're missing out. The last story.
But am I?
The last story. Mm-hmm. And it is somewhat related in that it is food adjacent.
It's food adjacent.
So I saw this.
I mean, it has to do with food.
It has to do with food.
Yeah.
I saw this headline and I was captivated. Let me just read this to you. Authorities in London have arrested a 63-year-old man for pretending to be a cheese wholesaler who then stole 950 wheels, roughly 48,500 pounds of cheddar cheese, which is $389,000 in cheese. Now, it's not necessarily... First of all, it is a funny story, but it's also not a funny story because this has actually gone on to impact a lot of like small cheese sellers in Europe. But this story to me raises so many questions.
The logistics of this.
Of like,
how do you transport 48,500 pounds of cheese? How do you steal that much
So
and get away with it?
Well, here's essentially what happened.
He didn't because he was arrested. But...
Well, here's the thing. He's been released.
Oh.
And I have so many questions. Apparently what happened, as best as I could tell, and I might not have all the details right, he or a group set up essentially a fake cheese wholesaler company.
Okay.
Placed these orders of cheese, got the orders, and then you know how sometimes you get invoiced after an order? Mm-hmm. Didn't, because it wasn't a real company. Just took the cheese that they were delivering.
They're like, bye.
Basically, yes. I think that's what happened. But my question is,
why?
Well, to be fair, it's cheese. Of all the crimes in the world, I'm not above this one. But the thing I don't understand, this is a massive amount of cheese. I mean, almost 50,000 pounds, 950 wheels. I want one wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
Put it on my Christmas list.
That was one of the things that we were in Paris that I was like, I really just want to take this whole wheel of cheese home.
How in the world, this is the biggest question I have. How do you get rid of the cheese?
Right. What are you doing with it?
What do you do with it?
What was your thought behind, okay, so now we have almost 50,000 pounds of cheese. What the hell do you do with it?
And this is a huge news story in Europe. Like, celebrity chefs are weighing in on Instagram. They're talking about, and they're even helping raise awareness. I think it might have been Jamie Oliver basically saying, hey, if you see people trying to sell, high-end cheese, notify the authorities.
It's probably stolen.
This is not flying under the radar.
Man.
And I can't imagine that the European cheese community is so large that they wouldn't notice if somebody was trying to move this much cheese.
Right.
You know, all of the restaurants know, all of the distributors know, all of the big cheese players know.
Big cheese
players. So we asked one of our friends, Janice, Janice, what would you do with this? And she actually made a good point that I hadn't thought of. That maybe you have a buyer in advance of doing this. Mm-hmm. You know where the cheese is going before you pull the heist. Rather than...
And maybe, it's valued at $389,000. Maybe they sold it for $500,000.
Oh, you think they might have sold that much cheese for more than market value?
Upsold it.
Upsold cheese.
Why not?
Interesting.
What else are you going to do with that much cheese?
Well, so
why?
I had a couple thoughts. First of all, I'm just thinking lots of mac and cheese.
I mean, yum.
Yeah. But
I'm here for it.
The other thing is it's cheddar cheese. It's all cheddar cheese.
It's all cheddar cheese.
It's not like you're even...
It's not like an assortment of cheese.
Oh my gosh.
What are you going to do with that much?
My thought is that since it's such a big news story, that you wait. It's wheels of cheese. It's not going to go bad anytime soon. Sit on it, let it die down, let the news die down.
And then start selling it.
And then slowly start selling it off. You know, eventually start pushing it out. There's no way you could move that much cheese at once without raising so much awareness.
I have so many questions for this guy.
And
And did he do it alone? They arrested this one guy.
And then let him go.
Did he have a whole crew who helped him steal 950 wheels of cheese?
In my mind, yes. In my mind, there's a ragtag group of cheese thieves out there. Honestly, you know who probably did this? Auburn.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her.
Auburn, if you're listening, we're on to you.
We're on to you.
We just figured it out. Maybe loves cheese more than any person I've met in my life. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. That just popped into my head. It's Auburn did. If this was a true crime podcast, we would have just solved the case.
Auburn talked this poor 63-year-old man. That's why they released him. He's like, it wasn't me. It was a girl in Florida. Right now, Auburn's sitting back at home in her house, just eating cheese with maniacal laughter. Got another one. I'm sorry. Total sidetrack. But I think that there's this ragtag gang of people that have felt scorned by big cheese. And they're like, we're going to really stick it to them. And so they did this. Maybe.
It's a weird story. And I have tried to do research and learn more and get additional info. And there's just not a ton out there.
So what we need from you for this one.
What?
Is if you live in London or anywhere in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK.
And you know about this story and you can give us more deets. Please do. Or. Because we need them.
If you know the person who did this.
Auburn.
Could Could they just send us some of this thief cheese?
One wheel. We just want one.
I want one wheel.
Just send us one.
One wheel of the thief cheese. That's all that I ask for, please.
The thief cheese.
Oh my gosh. So these 3 stories, here's the thing. None of these could have been a podcast on their own.
No, it wasn't enough to talk about, like, for one.
But I love, like, all 3 of these I read, and I was just like, oh my God, Sherri and I have to talk about this.
Our server last night at the Olive Garden was probably like, what is wrong with these people? Because we were laughing. We were bellied up to the bar at Olive Garden and laughing.
And if he...
not just talking about these.
And if he overheard us, we were talking about, like, licking wrapping paper, like half-gallon jugs of McRib sauce, and, like, stealing wheels of cheese. He must have thought we were either crazy or,
if he
like...
just heard, like, little snippets, he'd be like, what is wrong with these
Somebody
people?
call the authorities. Somebody call the authorities. So here's the question, you guys. You ready for the questions? Do you remember those 2 questions I asked you at the beginning about KFC? I want to know...
Lickable or scented?
What is a lickable and what is a scented for you? For McDonald's, are you pro McRib or are you not pro McRib? I want to know, would you buy the half-gallon jug?
I would not buy the gallon.
See, I wouldn't either.
Half-gallon jug. I might give the McRib one more chance, but I do feel like the last 2 or 3 times that I've tried it, it's just been not good.
What if they reel you back in? What if this time it is like perfect? They brought it back in all of its glory.
And it's actually saucy.
Ooh, a saucy McRib.
Saucy McRib.
And the last story, I want to know, if you were said cheese thief, Auburn. Sorry, Sherri just choked on her whiskey. How would you get rid of almost 50,000 pounds of cheddar cheese? What would you do? How would you break it into small pieces and try to sell it off in little amounts? Would you sit for a while and wait? Would you look for one giant buyer? Would you just like eat yourself to death? Just like say, you know what? I'm going to eat all the cheese myself.
I mean,
what would you do? How would you get rid of it? My gosh.
Maybe he has a really big family.
Maybe that's a really big family.
And he just gives maybe it was his Christmas gifts.
He couldn't afford Christmas this year.
And so he stole 950 wheels of cheese.
He has 950 family members.
And he just wanted to share the wealth.
And they showed up at the family reunion. And they're like, wow, you got a wheel of cheese too? Where'd Grandpa get all 950 wheels of cheese?
I read about a story about this. This wouldn't have been Grandpa.
Grandpa wouldn't do that, would he? And then they put all the pieces together, and then Grandpa spends the rest of his life rotting away in a London jail.
I don't think it's 950 people. I think that it's less than that, but he has Christmas gifts for the rest of his life to give.
Every year you're getting a new wheel of cheese?
Every year you get a new wheel of cheese.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm not mad about that.
If somebody gifted me a wheel of cheese and then they were like, hey, just so you know, could you keep it on the download because I stole this? I'd be like, am I going to get more cheese? They'd say yes. I'd be like, absolutely. My lips are sealed.
Absolutely.
My lips are sealed with cheese. Keep my lips sealed with cheese.
Melty cheddar cheese.
Oh, so freaking delicious. Friends, maybe one of the most random podcasts we have made in our 144 episodes.
Possibly.
But gosh darn it, that was fun to talk about. If you all ever come across ridiculous stories like this, or things that maybe you want to hear our thoughts on, you can always email those to us at legglife@gmail.com. We would love to get other stories like this, because these, like I said, these made us laugh so much.
They really did.
I am actually surprised you cannot think of a single flavor for a lickable wrapping paper.
Because it's paper. I don't want to eat paper.
Okay, one more question. You know how sometimes on a cake, there's that edible paper that they put through a printer, and you can print a photo of Grandpa on, and then they put it on top of the cake, and then you just cut through it, and it's edible paper. You've eaten those before. Oh, Sherri's face. I just got her. Oh, huh. That's called checkmate.
But that's also with cake. I'm not just eating paper.
What if you wrapped a cake in edible...
I hate you.
Friends, we love you so much. Thanks for listening to all of our podcasts, our ramblings about deep topics in past episodes, relationships and personality types and faith.
And equally deep topics like KFC lickable wrapping paper.
And jugs of McRib sauce. You guys stick with us through it all, and we cannot appreciate you more. We love you all so very much, and we will see you on the next LeggLife Podcast. Bye.